You know why we moved to Portugal? To grow old. That's the real reason why we left the US and moved to Portugal, because we wanted to grow old comfortably. And we started planning for that right now. Because the reality is, if you are planning on growing old in the US, well, it might just be a matter of time before the US breaks you financially. Hey guys, it's Aman
and Christina
from Our Rich Journey. On today's video, we are talking about the hidden cost of growing old in the US and why moving abroad may be your best option to preserve your health, wealth, and happiness.
So in today's video, we are going to show you the stark difference of what it costs to grow old in America versus here in Portugal and why we chose Portugal. So from healthcare, housing, food, transportation, and community support, we are breaking it all down in this video.
Oh, I can't wait to get into this because people are moving abroad, not just for a better life, but for financial survival. And for a lot of folks, their biggest expense when they get older is elder care.
So here is the truth. In America, elder care is a ticking time bomb. So the average cost of a private room in a nursing home in the US, over $9,000 a month. And assisted living, around $4,500 to $6,000 a month. And that's before you add in medical care or memory support. And if someone chooses home care, it's roughly $30 to $40 an hour depending on their state. It's no wonder that people run out of money as an elderly person so quickly within months of needing this type of support. And I'm sure you, just like us, have heard this story over and over again. A parent gets sick, they need help bathing, dressing, eating, and just like that, 20, 30, or even 40 years of savings is gone.
You see, this is the most disturbing part for me when it comes to elder care in the US. Imagine saving and investing your entire life, building an estate, only to have it taken away from you to pay for all of this support. I feel like America is a casino, and if you play in that casino for too long, you will end up losing it all to the house. And this is not a problem just facing the lower class or the middle class, it's facing everyone. You can be at any class in America, and this is an issue that you will inevitably have to deal with.
So of course, we are here in Portugal, so let's compare Portugal's prices. So in Portugal, the cost of elder care is a fraction of what it is in the US. Here's what we mean. Private in-home care is 10 to 15 euros per hour. Assisted living is only $1,200 to $2,000 a month, including meals and medical supervision. And nursing homes, even the most luxurious ones, range from 1,500 to 2,500 euro a month.
This is so true because there's a nursing home not too far from us that is right on the beach. And the views that these folks get every single day, it's amazing. Imagine being in a beachfront property as an elder, being able to take in that fresh air, that sunlight. This is how I want to spend my elder years.
So I want that to really sink in. If you pay for 1 month of elder care in the United States, that would be the equivalent of paying 3 to 6 months of elder care in Portugal.
And not just any elder care. I mean, Portugal's healthcare and elder care is some of the best in the world. So you are getting high quality services.
So that is elder care. Some people may need it and some people may not, but everyone is going to have to face healthcare and insurance costs. And there is a huge difference in Portugal and the United States when it comes to this. So in the United States, healthcare and insurance costs are often tied to your job. But once you leave the workforce, you're really relying on Medicare, which doesn't cover long-term care. Now in Portugal, healthcare is available in the public health system for legal residents, and many times that is at very low cost to no cost at all.
And now let's talk about healthcare through private insurance. Now, private insurance in the US is literally gonna cost you an arm and a leg. But here in Portugal, private healthcare insurance is super affordable. Us as a family of 4, we pay about $2,500 a year, and it covers us fully in the private healthcare system. So as an elder, your private healthcare insurance will be very, very affordable.
So a solid private insurance plan for a retiree here in Portugal can cost anywhere from about 75 euro to 150 euro a month. Now compare that to the US. With premiums, deductibles, and copays, there's really no contest.
The complexity of it all in the US will also drive you crazy. When we use our insurance here in Portugal, it is so straightforward. I can just look back at our time in the US and trying to maneuver through all the paperwork. Is this a deductible? Does this cover the It is just all so confusing and something that you shouldn't have to deal with in your older age.
So that's really the money component, but this isn't just about money. It's about your experience growing old and having that dignity as you're getting older. I feel like here in Portugal, the experience of being an elderly person is so different than in the United States.
In Portugal, growing old doesn't feel like a punishment. You don't get stuck in a facility you can't afford. You don't get ignored because you ran out of money. You age with dignity. I have to say this because I have seen so many elderly folks in the US feel regulated, pushed off to the side, talked down to. I remember getting on the BART in San Francisco and people not getting up to give an elderly person a seat. You don't experience that here in Portugal. The elderly get respect and they get priority. There have been so many situations in Portugal where we have been in a supermarket or getting some kind of service, waiting in a line, and an elderly person will walk in and walk past everybody to go to the front of that line. And there's nothing said to that person because they recognize that the elderly should go first. Could you imagine that happening in the US? People would start questioning, well, how old are they? How old do you have to be? They would
Can I see an ID?
Can I see an ID? A birth certificate? No, you don't have that same type of conflict and controversy here. So the idea of coming to Portugal and growing old with dignity is what is embraced here in Portugal.
So here's the thing that's really important. If you are serious about moving here to Portugal or really any other country, it's really important to recognize that you don't want to wait until you're elderly before you make the move. The sooner you can do it, the better, because you're going to have a better transition.
Now, we're not saying you can't move here when you're elderly, but if you have the option to do so, moving here sooner rather than later is really important. It's important because it allows you to learn the language, build community, understand the healthcare system. You see, all of these things take time to learn. So if you can get here sooner, you'll have more time to understand how things work here.
So if you move while you're relatively independent and healthy, you give yourself a chance to thrive, to settle in, and to adapt. So for those of you that are interested specifically in coming to Portugal and learning about the visa process, the healthcare system, housing, all of the different elements of moving here to Portugal, we have a Moving to Portugal course. If you are interested in learning more about that, you can go to ourrichjourney.com. We'll also leave a link in the description below.
So obviously you can tell that we're very passionate about this particular subject because we have witnessed firsthand how difficult it can be to grow old in America. And we have been all around the world and have seen what life is like on the other side. And so we're sharing this video with you to give you perspective, to let you know that there are different ways to approach the inevitable, growing old. And so if you like this video, do us a huge favor. Share it with a loved one that may benefit from this information. And as usual, give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to our channel, and join the journey.